Hi, my name is Bonnie Barker. I'm with BonnieBabeCrochet.com, and today I wanted to show you the braided cable. I'm using 6 stitches for each cable in this stitch. I'm going to use a small swatch, and if you want to crochet along with me, simply pause and crochet by chaining 16 chains, and then double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then each chain across, and that should give you 13 double crochets, and I am not including the turning chain in that number. Okay, so we're gonna, after we finish the first row of double crochet, I'm gonna chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to wrap my hook 2 times because I'm going to do front post treble crochet. When doing these stitches, do not count this as the first 2 stitches that you're going to skip. This is the end post, and we're just going to kind of not count this as we make our first braid. Okay, so this is our end post that we're going to skip 1, 2 stitches, and then we're going to treble crochet around the next stitch like so. If you don't know how to do treble crochet, I encourage you to go ahead and check out some of my beginning videos on that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on how to form the fundamental stitches right here, but but you can see if you wrap it twice, and we're doing front post, and a front post stitch is simply you put the hook around the body of the stitch. It's kind of like giving it a belt. We're not working through the top loops, just going around. Now we're going to go back to the 2 stitches that we skipped. Remember, this is the end post. Don't count this in the ones that we're going to do here. And we're going to treble crochet around the 2 stitches that we skipped. Okay, 1, 2. Now we're going to treble crochet around the next 2 stitches. Like so. Alright, now this doesn't look like a braid just yet, but that is the beginning, first row of working the braided cable stitch. Okay, now to do another one, we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to treble crochet around the next stitch. Again, go in the front door, and if you can see, it comes around the body like a belt. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay. You also want to keep track of where you are in these braided cables. It's easy to forget where you are and skip stitches here. Now we need to come back and crochet around the 2 stitches that we skipped. That's 1. And 2. Now we're going to do the next 2 stitches. Okay, now to end this row and to turn, I'm going to simply work a double crochet in the turning chain. Now, depending on what pattern you are following, the way you begin the row and end the row may end slightly differently. So whenever you watch, especially any of my videos, please always follow the pattern first. The videos are here to serve you and just to help you understand how the stitch is constructed. Now, how many how many rows you have, how many braids in a row, or how the braids are worked with other stitches, they are going to vary greatly depending on the pattern. So just want you to keep that in mind. Okay, so to turn, I'm going to chain 2. And a word about that, some patterns will call for a chain 3. So just pay attention to the pattern. This again is just for demonstration purposes. All right, now we're going to be working back post treble crochets. We're going to wrap it twice. We're going to take a peek at what the front side looks like. Again, we're going to not work in the post on the end. We're going to skip these 2 stitches, and we're going to do the next 2, which are actually kind of slightly, leaning towards us there. We're going to work a back post treble, Wrap it twice, and again, we're just wrapping it around the body of the stitch. Okay, now we're going to go back and we're going to do the 2 that we skipped here. So, and do know that you're going to eventually, once you get the muscle memory down, whoops, let's try that again. Once you get the muscle memory down for these stitches, you won't even have to think about it. At the beginning, it is a little more difficult, but do use your thumb. I'm using my thumb and my middle finger to kind of feel and guide the hook in these stitches. It seems maybe a little complicated at first, but honestly, these stitches are even easier than working through the tops once you get the hang of it. I can even do a lot of these stitches basically in very low lighting or in the dark, because my fingers, this hand, will do most of the work for me in guiding where the hook will go. And once you do anything for about 10,000 hours, you get that 10,000 hour rule going. You get pretty good at it and don't have to think about it. Of course, that takes a while. Okay, so now let me go ahead and say what I'm doing here. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches. We're going to treble, back post treble crochet the next 2, if you can see that. Now we're going to go back and do the 2 that we skipped. I'm going to turn it up so that you can see it from the other side as well, how I'm doing this. Okay, and then we have just 2 more left here. 1, 2, and now we get to the turning chain here. I'm just going to work a double crochet. Again, sometimes patterns will call for a half double crochet, depending on what you're doing. I'm going to chain 2, and so now we see it starting to form. I'm going to do 2 more rows with you. Okay, we're going to wrap it 2 times. Remember the end post, don't work in that one. Skip these 2. And we're going to treble in the next 2. Now we're going to go back and treble in the 2 stitches we skipped. Front post treble crochet. Okay, and now we're going to do the next 2 that come along. Okay, so you're starting to see how this is braiding. Now we're going to skip these 2. Going to treble crochet in the next 2. Front post treble crochet, I forget to say that sometimes. Go back and do the 2 that you skipped. And last but not least, these are hiding back behind there, but don't forget these 2, because it will not come out right if you do. Okay, 1, 2, and now we're going to do a double crochet on the end. So you see how we're coming along here. 1 braid here, another braided cable there. Do 1 more row for you. Chain 2. I'm going to turn, skip the end post. I'm going to skip the next 2 stitches. Treble crochet around the next 2. And if you're not sure when you're working the back row, you can always flip it around and look at the other side, and just to make sure you're where you're supposed to be. Now we're going to wrap it. We're going to do the 2 we skipped. Again, using your fingers to guide you. Okay, now we're going to do the very next 2 stitches. Sometimes they're hiding back there. You just got to use your fingers to find them. And then we're going to skip these 2 to begin the next braid. Treble around the next 2. Back post treble crochet, that is. going in the back door. Okay, so we're coming in the back door, giving it a belt. I'll do that one more time. And the last two that are down here. And if you're not sure, you can always do a little stitch count as you go across. Since we're doing 2 braids, each braid is a multiple of 6. So if you're doing 2 braids, that's 2 times 6 is 12. Get out your 4th grade multiplication tables and work that up. Okay, now I'm going to just chain 2. I'm going to turn just to show you how this braid is coming along. You can kind of see how that goes. And you can work this, as long as you'd like. You can make a nice little scarf. Might want to go 3 braids wide if you do that with worsted weight yarn. I'm using a size I or 9 crochet hook, which is 5.50 millimeters. Anyway, that is the braided cable. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact me at my YouTube channel at Bonnie Bay Crochet, or you can contact me at bonniebaycrochet.com. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.